Hello. I would like to share with all of you that something that happened, something that was like an awakening call. So this afternoon I met an acquaintance of mine after a very long time, and I was on the verge of saying, "Hey, you're balding." Thank God. I just thought that it would sound very offensive, obnoxious, and I said, "Oh, you have a receding hairline." A receding hairline. Okay, so I wanted to sound polite because I didn't want to hurt the other person by saying you are balding. And then I just remembered that in our childhood we all had these sugar coated pills. Because pills are bitter, we don't want to have them, and then they would be sugar coated, so you take the pill. I just realized we are using polite speech. We are speaking politely because we don't want to offend someone, we do not want to hurt someone. Like with our kids, instead of saying you're telling me a lie, you're spinning a yarn, a better way to put that is, you're telling me a fairy tale. So what's a fairy tale? A lie. Unbelievable, right? So again, being polite. Even our friends, they may be strange, they may be weird, but when we speak about them, we say, she's unique in her own way. Unique. So this polite way of speaking is nothing but euphemism. Euphemism is something that we'll be discussing today. So euphemism, it comes from the Greek word euphemismus. EU stands for well, good, auspicious. Yeah? EU. And pheme, P-H-E-M-E, pheme is for speaking. So speaking good, speaking politely. That is euphemism. And we need euphemism. Why? Why do we need euphemism? Why can't we just blurt out whatever we want to? Because when we use euphemism, we are being polite. We take care to see that we do not hurt someone else. Something which is really harsh and unpleasant and bitter or very repulsive, offensive, can hurt someone. We put it in a milder way. We use milder words to express the harsh reality, to sound polite, to make our conversations genial, polite, socially acceptable, and pleasant, of course. Some stark realities. When we are jobless, when we are unemployed, it's not very nice. It's not a very nice feeling to say, I am jobless or I am unemployed. Instead, we can say, I am between jobs. I'm between jobs. A milder way of saying I am unemployed. Or I am considering other options. Or I am exploring new avenues. So these are different ways of expressing the harsh reality of being unemployed, of being jobless. And we do use it. We do use euphemisms to make our conversations polite. When we are talking about someone who is poor, instead of saying poor, we can say comes from the economically weaker sections or is underprivileged. That sounds polite. Instead of sounding very offensive, it sounds polite. Even when we are talking about aging, instead of telling someone that you're growing old, isn't it nicer to say you're aging gracefully, or these are the golden years of your life? We also address them as senior citizens, them as in people who are growing older, we address them as senior citizens. Again, a very polite way of speaking. Now moving to disability. I heard a child saying, today we are going to visit the school for the blind. Let's replace school for the blind. Today we are going to visit the school for the visually challenged. Or when we are speaking of people who have a problem with their speech, so we can just say speech impaired. Yeah, speech impaired. When someone at home turns deaf, see, that sounds harsh. We can say he has a hearing loss. Okay, instead of saying deaf, a hearing loss is milder. It's polite. I bought this jute bag from the center which is run by the handicapped or which is run by the disabled. No. I bought this jute bag from the center which is run by the differently abled or which is run by the specially abled. Again, we are being polite. Speaking of pets, sometimes, unfortunately, we need to resort to mercy killing, euthanasia for our pets. It's very unfortunate. But when we have to speak of it, then we cannot use the word euthanasia. And mercy killing also, we cannot use that word. In such cases we say, I had to put my dog to sleep. Put my dog to sleep, mercy killing, euthanasia. Another way is going over the rainbow bridge. Going over the rainbow bridge, so there is this mythical overpass that connects heaven and earth. And it is believed that when the pets pass away, they all go to this place near the rainbow bridge. It's a beautiful meadow. And those animals that were hurt and maimed and wounded and were sick, good health is restored all over again, and these animals are present over there. And when the owner passes away, the owner goes to this rainbow bridge, that point where these animals are playing, they are all happy, and one of the animals, it hears the sound of the owner coming towards it, and there's a twinkle in its eyes, and it rushes to the owner, and together they walk over the rainbow bridge. They cross over the rainbow bridge on their journey towards heaven. That's also euphemism. We are using euphemism to express the harsh reality of death using milder words. Death is the ultimate truth, isn't it? It's the ultimate truth. And sometimes we have we have been given the responsibility sometimes to share it with someone else who has lost a loved one. Then we can use euphemism there, saying he is no more, or has passed away, is resting in peace, yes, has left for his heavenly abode. So milder ways to convey the harsh reality of death. Even William Shakespeare, in the poem All the World's a Stage, he talks about death using the word exits. We all have our exits, death. None of us is immortal. Yes. Now that brings me to the Sicilian message. Those of you who have watched Godfather, or if you've read the book, so in that book there is this character called Luca Brasi, and Luca Brasi is sleeping with the fishes. Now that's a Sicilian message. Is sleeping with the fishes. It talks about death. So Luca Brasi is sleeping with the fishes. He He's dead and he's lying at the bottom of the ocean. So that's something very formidable, very daunting. So personally, when I read that line, it gives me goosebumps. It's very frightening. The English writer Quentin Crisp, who was known for his witticism and anecdotes that were narrated in a very skillful manner. So he says, euphemisms are unpleasant truths wearing diplomatic cologne. I repeat, euphemisms are unpleasant truths wearing diplomatic cologne. Diplomatic, very tactfully. Cologne, that's a liquid that's used over the skin, for its fragrance. So we need euphemisms very often in our conversations. Let us make use of these euphemisms whenever we have to convey something which is unpleasant, which is bitter, which is sorrowful. Saying it in milder words. That brings to mind a beautiful poem about the Rainbow Bridge. I discussed the Rainbow Bridge with you all some time back. I will just read out that beautiful poem to all of you. The Rainbow Bridge. When it comes time to leave this earth, your beloved pet's soul is blessed with rebirth. They make their way down to a meadow so lush, where the sun shines brightly and clear waters rush. Time stands still in this tranquil place, where all creatures frolic, run, play and chase. This beautiful land between this world and the next is where each pet's soul can finally find rest. Free of their pain, suffering and sadness, their bodies renew, their hearts fill with gladness. As they bathe in the sunlight, they start to heal, then romp, carefree with the new strength they feel. The air is sweet as joyfully they play, bright-eyed and lovely, until one day their noses start to twitch, their senses are stirred. Was that a familiar voice that was heard? In an instant, your heart leaps and your eyes meet. You run forward, arms open. Your pet you do greet. Memories come flooding of times gone past. No longer alone, you're together at last. The sorrow you felt while you were apart is replaced with joy that fills up your heart. Hugging your pet for what feels like forever, you smile and cross over the bridge together. Thank you. Bye for now.